Hey guys, welcome to Style Class, and we are doing it from Savannah, Georgia. And if I feel awkward, it's because my sister's sitting behind me right here, and then I've got Amy Gravitt here on my right, and you guys are making me kind of nervous. Probably because my sister's like gonna totally talk smack about me afterwards. But we are here and we are gonna talk about problem solving today. So I asked you guys earlier in the week to send me your problem children, the pieces that you had in your closet that you loved, you thought you were gonna wear them a lot, and it turns out that you either never wore them or never had them live up to the expectations that you had set for them. So what I've done is I've taken the items that you've set and I've kind of grouped them to where you can look at them against certain principles. And if you remember, the principles are the clothing principles that we have that we use when we are evaluating things that are right to purchase and things that feel right or wrong when we are trying things on. So principles are very different than rules. Rules tend to be made up. They tend to be created by people who don't necessarily have the same interests or the same mindset as you. But principles are just kind of guidelines there, and they're things that you can either agree with or not agree with them, but they are certainly born from the idea that if you are a person who really defines himself as someone who has an effortlessness to them, a certain ease, and a very modern or a curious outlook, and that you have a lot of respect for heritage and interest in how things are made and creative. If you are chill, modern, and classic, then these principles will reside with you. So what I'm gonna do is go through some of the problems that you guys sent to me, and I'm gonna talk to you about what principle is gonna come into play here to help you fix them. And remember, this is not about giving you a fish, it is about teaching you to fish so that you can really make better decisions going forward. What I really want to say I appreciate ahead of time is that you guys, you've all really moved on where you weren't just really expecting me to give you like an outfit idea, like how do I make this skirt look amazing? You really were curious about what went wrong that made this item that you thought was going to be something that you would really live in, not a without fail for you, not something that would just work for you like in a pinch every time. And if you guys were bothered enough by these problem children to send them to me, I want to say in general, overall, none of these really were without fails. They are not your crutch items when you thought that they might be. And the good news is I'm going to explain to you why. So we're going to start here with this one. And one of you guys sent me this beautiful, it was an Hermes coat, it was a beautiful coat, right? But here, what you can see is the problem that you brought up is you said that you wear it very rarely. So this, I'm going to zoom in on the coat. This is a coat, very nice coat, right? It's Hermes. We're not going to at all debate the quality and everything of the coat. But what you wrote was that you invested a lot in it, right? And you wanted to be able to wear it a lot, but you found that every time you wore it, you never felt really settled and comfortable. So what I want to focus on here is instead of any kind of specific outfit, I want to focus on what principle will help you get this coat in your rotation a lot more. And this one is going to come down to the notion that we talk about, which is 1 ton and none. That's the principle here, 1 ton or none, the one that I've written about in the book ad nauseum and that we talk about a lot. So you can see here at the top, I have sketched you wearing the coat in the way that you describe that you wear it, as like something that you could just throw on and run out the door and wear, but you just don't feel as chic as you want to. And you can see in the idea of 1 ton or none, whether it is 1 ton or none, the idea is that your eye is going to one place every time. It's just settling. So whether you're wearing a ton of colors, your eye just lands in one place. Whether you are wearing all neutrals or just a pop of color, your eye is always landing in one place. And as you can see here in the top, I don't know whether to look at the yellow, the red, the denim. My eye is not settled here, you probably feel like you are wearing clothing and not personal style. So what I've shown you below is in all of these cases, like here, your eye is just going all to this white and gray here. It's all very calming and soothing. The same here when you're wearing all black. And then here I'm wearing the denim mixed with a navy blue sweater. And this is what I caution you guys a lot. When you are purchasing an item that has two colors like this, whether or not it's that coat, or a lot of you guys have bought maybe, you know, like if you're on vacation, a Greek sandal, for instance, a lot of times you'll find they have a neutral footbed, and then the upper will be black. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, that is the perfect neutral shoe. But what you find is that when you're wearing an outfit that maybe has like a denim top, but maybe like a black bottom or something, the shoe just creates a little bit of chaos. That's why I tend to buy shoes that have the upper matching the sole of the shoes. And I don't always, there's definitely times where maybe Marnie or someone does a really colorful, interesting sole and contrasting upper, but when you buy it, it is not going to be your fail-safe shoe. If you buy that mixed up color shoe, odds are you're going to love it when you wear like all dark neutrals with it. Something that just makes your eye go to one place, which would be that shoe. And here, your big one here is this color combination in the coat. And I have Amy grab it here. She's gonna, if you guys have anything important to say, she's going to read it out to me, and then she'll make judgment calls on what's important. She won't. Everything's important. Sort of. Not really, but you know what I mean. Okay. The next problem child was one of you guys sent me this croc embossed Prada mini skirt. And what you said was that you think that the problem is that you bought it one size too large, and it makes it sit a little bit lower on your hips. So what I'm going to focus on here in terms of the principle to help you figure out how to wear this skirt is we're going to focus on proportions and also the mixture of big, slim skin. So here I've got you wearing the skirt quite low, and you're wearing it with the slim top here, and you're letting it just sit quite low. In the Prada runway show here, it's got the big play over it. Yes, they are wearing it up high, but to be honest, for me, I'm kind of glad that you bought it one size too big. I think up high would have been very limiting. And if you've seen the way like Sarah Brody wears a lot of our things one size, two sizes too big, because she's grabbing a sample, but she'll kind of hike it up and belt it, so you can do something interesting there. You have much more options with the skirt sitting a little bit lower on your body. The other thing I've done here is I've just shown the skirt with a big white oversized top. So if you wanted to ride up a little bit higher, you can even pin it and then just wear a big top over it. And what I'm going to show you here with this top is when you are looking to adjust your proportions. So this is the lightweight denim top. We're getting more of these, and don't worry, they're going to come soon. But one thing that you can do is you can leave the bottom part unsnapped and then just kind of twist it and tuck it in the back. And what that does is it just spreads this out a little bit, and it just creates an interesting sculptural effect, right? I'm not trying to make my waist look slimmer or anything like that. I'm just moving around the proportions on the body. And so that's something that, like, if you want this shirt to not feel so boxy, since the skirt is hanging down lower, then you can just simply do this little trick like I did where I've tucked it into the back there.
Did you size up in order to be able to do that?
Guys, I do not size up in Tibby. And so that's what's key for us, is all of this ease is already built in. And I've got a really good section on that to show you guys later on, with some of you who bought items that you were convinced were going to be so easy and effortless on you, and they weren't. And I'm going to show you why. But I'm wearing a size, I can't remember, is this SML or?
Small, I think.
Yeah. I would think.
Yes, that's a small.
Yeah, this one's a small. So I either wear a small or a 4 or a 27 in Tibby every single time. And then in terms of proportions here, I've also drawn this person now with a big sweater and then a jacket that comes down longer than the length of the mini skirt. So this is where just play with these proportions, embrace the fact that it's going to sit lower on the hips. Yes, you bought it from Prada and it was designed to be higher, but certainly had you bought this from Tibby, it would have been designed to sit lower anyways. You know I love that. So just play with those proportions there. Since you just asked about the top, I'm going to jump into that one right away. Okay. This will help you. So one of you guys wrote and you said that you were really, here's a problem child. It's a French label called High. I used to buy them when I lived in London. Your husband bought it for you. That's so sweet. And you feel like it looks really big on the hips and it feels very fussy and you want to figure out how to wear it. And so, first of all, one of the things I want to clue in on is the word fussy. I talk a lot about antonyms, and the way to solve your problem is you've identified the word fussy as the way that you do not want to feel, that this top is making you feel. And so what you want to do is you want to bring ease back into what you're wearing. And in terms of finding the ease with this top, honestly, the reason why this top is problematic from the beginning is the actual design of the top. And again, this is not about good design, bad design, good designers, bad designers. This is about knowing what to look for when your codes are chill, modern, and classic all at the same time. So if you want to see this top close up here, it is in a cotton voile, which means like you're looking at it, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be so effortless, right? It's so floaty. You're imagining yourself looking like this, that you're just all slouchy and cool. You feel more like her is because that is how you look, because that is how the top was designed. So what I've done in the purple connection, okay. Connection, are you okay? So what you see here is when you are looking for a top that is going to have ease, you cannot buy a top that has these princess seams. Your sweet husband, he of course did not know that, but those princess seams were a dead giveaway combined with the high armhole. No, that top is meant to sit quite close to the body. And this is something that, you know, if you are interested in pieces that you're looking at online from other brands, really take the time to zoom in on them, because a lot of people, they will shoot items on a model that is a size 2 or 3 times smaller than the clothing that they are wearing. And if you zoom in on that model and she's looking all like chill and effortless, but you see that she's got a regular armhole combined with princess seams, don't buy it. They've just put it on a skinnier model so that it drapes, but there's no drape to it, okay? And again, if you like all those seams, that's fine, that's great. That means that you like things a little more polished, a little more, maybe elegant would be more of your adjective. But if you do like it chill, modern, and classic at the same time, you don't want that princess seam. So I'm wearing, this one is in the Charlie shirt style, and you can see, yes, it's got that what's called an inset armhole, but I do not have princess seams. And if I had these princess seams, then this top would look more like this, and it would flare out, and I probably wouldn't be wearing it right now. Okay.
Question about opening that blouse up. Does that give it chill? Like opening that type of
Oh, yeah, sorry. Let me, that's a good question, because I was thinking of that because this is the top that you own, and you know, you're probably like with your husband, you're like, hey babe, look, I'm wearing the top. But yes, if it were me and Frank had bought this for me, I would maybe wear it as a bathing suit cover up, and I'd roll up the sleeves and leave it all undone. Or I would put like a really skinny like Hanes rib t-shirt or something underneath it and leave it unbuttoned. One other thing, you use the word fussy when you describe this. One other thing that is contributing to the fuss is we talk about the rule of three. And when things tend to have more than three elements to them, it feels a little chaotic to us. And so this top, it's got a little bit of embroidery on it. It's got the seaming. It's got the ruffle. And it has these really long ties. So even though it's all white and, calming in that way, it does have deceptively a lot of elements to it that when you are putting it on, you probably feel a little fussier than you want to. This is where get your scissors out and just chop off those dangling pieces. And I bet that's going to make you feel a lot better. And you can pin them up before you get the scissors out. But that alone is going to make you feel better. And you did buy it, you didn't rent it, so you can take scissors to it. Don't be afraid. Okay. The next one that you guys sent me, and I'm so glad Katura did this post this morning because it really helps tell this story even more. So Katura, Cowboy Katura here on the horse, she posted this morning. It was so timely. And she was saying, there is just something so fucking pragmatic about a cowboy hat, right? Like it's blocking the sun. It's doing the job that it was meant to do. And she was saying that when she had such a reason for why she was wearing something, she knew what the purpose was, that it gives you all the confidence to wear it. She said she didn't feel like she was play acting at all. There was reason behind it. And we talk about how knowledge is so empowering. Knowledge is the source where confidence comes from. It doesn't come from wearing bright red or a really strong shoulder. It comes from understanding the why behind your actions. And it's not about so that you can really defend yourself to others. It's about defending yourself to yourself. And when you can do that, it's incredibly stabilizing. And guys, sometimes the reason can be that I just like this hat and I want to wear it. Like, this doesn't mean that we all have to have these, all of our rationale has to be based in incredible utility, but it's just knowing why we've made the choices that we've made gives us stability and confidence. And so I think no one right now is giving shit to Katura for wearing the cowboy hat. And I think because of her experience, when she's out in the sun at the beach next, she's going to pull out that cowboy hat and it's going to mean something to her because it's going to have memories tied to it. And then that becomes another reason for wearing it. Now, Katura, if you're coming in the office, sitting at your desk every day in the cowboy hat, we might have to give you a little shit to your face, but I can't see you doing that. Leslie's HR. She's like, don't do that. Amy, don't do that. I won't, Leslie. So the reason this got brought up here, and it was timely, is one of you guys sent me this little hat right here. And you said, I bought this hat, really wanted to wear this hat, and I never wore the hat. So I think you got to really figure out why you bought this hat. And if you bought it solely because everyone, it was a trend thing and you were going to jump in on it, that's usually not a good enough reason. And for a true creative pragmatist, it's usually the opposite of a good reason. And so this is when, if you're really drawn into a trend and you're interested in pursuing it, you got to figure out, Katura, is there a real functionality here? Is there an emotional draw to it? One of you guys sent me the old, is it the Minnetonka brand? Was that the moccasins with the yeah, someone sent me those and they were like, I'm so strangely drawn to these. I bought them. They said they hadn't worn them, but there was such a nostalgic element to the shoe. And that's one where, for me, that nostalgic pull, that's enough to pull those out every now and then and wear them with jeans and a big navy sweatshirt or something. Absolutely. So I think, connecting that to that nostalgia, that's great. So for the person who wrote to me about this hat, you're clearly having a hard time figuring out why you even bought it to begin with. But if you bought it to kind of get this vibe of these guys, that's more of a look. It's just a look, right? And so, yes, you can wear the hat when you are in the mood to get that look, but remember, it's not serving a real utility for you. That's why you're not wearing it, and it doesn't seem like it has a real emotional connection to you. So you might want to try and resell that guy if you don't ever wear him. But if you do wear him every now and then, guys, that's not a good thing. I mean, that's not a bad thing. We talk about getting a lot of wear out of your clothes. Just because we want you to get a lot of wear out of your clothes doesn't mean that the opposite is bad. It's going to happen. Like, we're all emotional human beings. We love things. Things inspire us. We buy them. Sometimes there are things that I bought that I thought, oh my God, I rarely ever wear this dress. But now at the age of 56, I love the dress enough, though, that even though 20 years ago I said I barely ever wear this dress, I do wear it a couple times a year, and do the math. Like, it adds up. So not everything has to be a without fail, but what you just want to make sure of is that you don't amass a big closet of these little pork pie hats. You'll be sad. Okay, another one of you wrote about, this was a Tibby item, and it was the white, really rich, beautiful kind of canvas poplin-like skirt from, not as light as poplin, but a really nice, dense, weighted skirt from fall. And you said, she apologized, I hope you don't mind sharing that it's a Tibby one, but the white color seems difficult for me. I feel a little stuffy and proper. The shoes are a problem when I'm getting dressed. Help me. So for this one, the principle that I'm going to dive into with white is working off of the color wheel. And so this is the Tibby color wheel, and it is one that I created when I made the book. And the notion of the color wheel is not to tell you what colors look right together. It's to tell you that the combination of certain colors together send off different feelings and emotions to you. So when you are wearing colors that are further away in the color rings, like a 1 and a 4 here, this last ring, they tend to feel a little sharper and more structured, and maybe, to use her word, like a little fussy and proper sometimes. And sometimes you want to feel like that. But when you wear colors that are closer together in the wheel, the feeling tends to be a little more easygoing and chilled out. If you wear colors all in one wheel, like of all the chill colors, like ring 3, those are the ish colors, the colors that don't have names, you can feel super zenned out. If you've been to LA, it's like everyone's running around like they've just rolled in hay, and it's very... LA is so dusty. Amy lives in LA, but I always feel like it's the land of like all those muted colors. And whenever I would visit LA, I was like, I love the muted colors, but then I don't want the stretched out neckline. I don't want the filmy, I always wanted to strengthen it up. So a way to strengthen up those ring 3 colors is to mix in one of the stronger, more saturated colors. Yeah, Amy said fair, in case you guys couldn't hear her off in the background. So what I've done for you is I've taken the bright white skirt here and shown you like mixing it with the the other ring 2 neutrals on the gray sweater and the chocolate brown boot. That's just giving interest, it's giving texture, and it's definitely giving off a more chill vibe. And I don't think this reads preppy, proper, fussy, or anything to me. Now, I've also taken it and I've mixed it with this black kind of drapier shirt. We did this nice drapey material about a year ago, and something kind of soft that you can wear, and it's kind of loose and easy and tied the way I did this shirt earlier in the back here. That's going to open that up and give it some interest. And then I just got it with a little pointed flat there. And then I've also shown here, if I were mixing it with like the Ring 3T, this is kind of that greenish-y, brownish-y color, and then I'm mixing it with the brighter red sweater. So all of these color combinations here are giving chill and effortless and modern at the same time. But what I've shown you is you can see that if you're jumping in the color wheel to like a navy, you can see that that already is feeling very fussy and proper. You can see that wearing a top that has got those princess seams and high in the net and the armhole, that feels fussy and proper. And then absolutely wearing a closed toe shoe with the combination of that brighter saturated top that's high contrast and the fitted top, like the whole thing is reading, you know, I'm here to, I don't know. A great friend of mine's a real estate agent, and I was going to say real estate agent, but then I'm like, I got to stop saying that because they're great people, but I lived in Florida and sometimes there was a vibe, and she's giving me Florida agent vibes, but now I'm probably going to have a bunch of Florida agents writing me. But there's one other way to help manipulate this feeling that this person is having in this skirt. And I want to focus on, let's see, what you can do by having the right accessories as well. So a lot of you guys really look to the clothing to do all the heavy lifting, but sometimes it is going to be the accessory that you're carrying with it that is going to make the difference. So if you're wearing that white full skirt and you're feeling a little lady in it or a little proper, this is where go with a big chunky watch, right? So if you were to go with a very slim, delicate watch with the ladylike vibes of that skirt, you're going to be tipping the scale too far that way. So always think about those antonyms. You feel too ladylike, so then you're going to go with this bigger, stronger, sportier watch. This is from, I can't read my writing, Hatton Labs out of London. But it's a play on a classic tennis bracelet, but they're very sharp and angular, and it's giving that a classic tennis bracelet a lot of edge. So something like that you know, is just giving you like good friction and ick. That's going to help you out. These are completed works earrings. So obviously, like if these were little pearls, if this was a classic tennis bracelet, if this was some kind of very classic watch, or if you were wearing just a delicate pair of sunglasses, you could see that you would be leaning into the feeling that you're not wanting to get. But mixing in a range of accessories like this is really good to help balance out the outfit. So guys, when you are buying accessories, think about what you're purchasing in those categories. So of course, like, yes, you have to love what it is that you're buying, but that's your baseline, okay? That's your baseline. So now things have got to hit onto other levels. So it's really exciting when you can find, actually here's like, I bought this little necklace when we were in Mexico, and it's sterling silver, and I like that it gave pearl without being pearls. And it filled a need in my closet, in my jewelry box. And just try not to get too repetitive with the things that you're buying. Knowing the reason why and the role that these things are going to play is where the confidence comes from. And you're going to be really happy with the purchases that you make, I promise. All right, then the last one here that you guys sent to me. And again, this is where clearly this is not about bad designers or anything, but you sent me this Marnie cardigan, and you were having a hard time wearing it. And it's a really, you know, it's an interesting cardigan. It's got the raw edging on it. It's very clean and the Breton stripe. Fucking hate this though. I don't know. That is not my, I hate that. I hate that tie. The reason why I hate that tie is this is the shit that designers get forced to do a lot of times when either they can't commit or you've got someone in like merchandising who's like, I love it that you love oversized, but let's give her a belt. and that's going to change everything. And it doesn't. And instead, it just makes the whole thing look really confused. So not a fan of that belt. So you don't even have it in the picture hanging up in your closet. So it looks like you took that off. That's a good start. So what I'm going to focus on for the principles here to help you out with pieces like that is, this is where you want to focus on how to hack it, how to take it out of the space that it's in. Because as I'm looking at this, as a true cardigan straight up, I don't think it's never going to give you the range of punch that you want to have. It's sure, like it works as a cardigan sometimes, but like you want more out of it, right? It's Marnie. It looks like you probably spent a lot of money on it. So you want it to perform more. And that's where hacks are really important. So what I've shown you here is mixing it with something like the sporty nylon skirt, any nylon skirt, whatever, but taking that cardigan and turn it around and use it as a full sweater. Actually, I put this over our old sporty nylon dress here, but turn that around and let the back be open. And if you start to think of that cardigan as just a pullover that happens to have an open back, you are going to reach for it so much more. One thing I didn't show on here is, actually, I'm going to pull this up from my pictures real quick, is also don't write off the cardigan as just a simple accent that is going to be an interesting thing for the eye when you are getting dressed. So I know a lot of you guys see the pictures from my closet. Of course I can't find it like right now. Oh, you know what? Because I think it's on my phone that is there and not here. But a lot of you guys see pictures of me where I've got that Comme des Garçons long sleeve Breton striped t-shirt. And there are so many times where I'm wearing all neutrals and I just want like something of interest, and I'll take that t-shirt and I'll wrap it around me and it just becomes this little stripe element. That's something else that I would draw in here, is take this, and when you're wearing all neutral and you're like, it feels a little dull, don't get completely undressed, take this guy and wrap him around your waist, and that's going to be a good little accent. The other thing that I've done is I have taken it and I have tied it up. So I've just like worn it over a tank top and I've taken it and I've just knotted it up. So the principle here is really play around with things. You guys, when we did the all-day style class recently, one of the segments was on cutting something up and really just playing with your clothing. And I had taken a jacket and safety pinned it up all on the inside just to make it shorter into a crop jacket when I was in the mood for that. That's another thing that you could do with this sweater, is pin it up from the inside and create a little drape. But the idea is get out safety pins, rubber bands, play around with it, but free yourself of how you saw it online or how you think the designer intended you to wear it. I promise you, it absolutely thrills Tracy when she sees what you guys have done with our designs to get much more wear out of them. It really, it feels so good to know that you guys are wearing the clothing a lot. And then I'll just bring up the OG here this was what had kind of triggered this conversation, was the Celine skirt that I bought a while ago. And this one it's a little more focused on outfits because it is a printed skirt and I'm a little more limited in what I could do with it. But this is one that I'll keep it. It's Celine, it's good, but I'll only wear it a couple times a year. The groups that I have not shown here is, I did not receive very many, but I did receive some printed silk tops. And those I did not try and rework. They're such a hard pass for me because it completely ignores the fact that when you're wearing a print, when you're wearing a bold color, if it is something in icky fabrication, a glossy fabrication, or a sculptural style, that is when you will wear it the most every time. And if it's not in those materials, You won't wear it. It's hard. There's just next to nothing that I can do with a lovely printed shirt. Wait, I did have one.
There's a question about the Celine skirt. Is it have to have or in and out category?
At the time for me, it was a had to have because it wasn't price point wise for me. It made it a had to have, but it also was never. I wouldn't say that it's linked to any specific trend. I think that's what we all loved about the OG Celine was it was not linked to trend. So I don't feel like that I'm looking at it that I'm like, I gotta put this away for a while because that navy blue sculpted printed skirt thing is going to be going away. It's just one, like for me, I don't wear a lot of print. So what was key is to bring it into my wheelhouse, and doing the sock and sandal with it, doing the big open shirt really made it much more in my vein and less outfitty. I've got one more here. I don't know how this didn't save in my Procreate, but I'll put it up here. It was a good one. One of you guys sent me this purple skirt. So I just said, when you're doing a bold saturated color, you want it in something icky, glossy, or sculptural. And this skirt does have a sculptural element to it, which means like this is a really good contender to wear. You're not going to wear it every day. It's not a woof. You know, your without fails, they do tend to be in neutrals for a reason. But what's great about your woofs is they're the ones that you're going to pull in that will allow you to wear these emotional pieces and look like yourself. So when I just showed you the Celine skirt, the secret was having those without fails to wear with it. Had I worn a blue designed out Tibby blouse with it, I just would have felt like I was in such an outfit. So those woofs really let you invest in emotional pieces and still retain your sense of identity. So for the person who sent me this purple skirt, it's a keeper, but like, look, I've shown it here with the without fail sweatshirt. That calms it down. A simple tank top like this, it calms it down. A big gray sweater. And then color-wise too, you can go the full-on 1 ton or none, right? Like this is like Sarah Brody straight up with the mint, the red sandal, the baby blue around the waist. You've got all the color rings here. But you can see like really leaning into the without fails, leaning into the interesting ways to wear color keeps all of this in your wheelhouse. It's still not going to make it a skirt that you're going to wear all the time. The skirt is too specific to be on the, like, oh, I'm headed to the airport. Let me grab my purple sculpted skirt. That's not going to happen, and that's okay. But the point is that when you mix in your without fails, it lets you get a lot of wear out of it. And it's why without fails for us are such a critical part of every collection that Tracy and I design, because it gives us permission to just push and play and experiment, because we know that we've got these other pieces that are going to bring it back and make it feel just like us. So anyways, that's it, guys. I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to break all this down in Substack so that you can get closer looks on all of the pictures and you don't have to try and zoom in on the video. So I'll put it into Substack and we will tag it here on Tibby. And thanks for sending me your problems. I hope that this was helpful. And all right, so housekeeping is that next Wednesday, live is going to take place in New York. I'll be back in New York. We're headed down to, actually tomorrow, Amy Gravitt and I are giving a talk at SCAD, and thank you to Paula Wallace and everyone here in Savannah. This is quite literally coming home for me. It feels great, and we're so excited to be speaking at the school tomorrow about the intersection of creativity with entertainment and fashion. And then Amy G and I are headed down to Sea Island, Georgia for a really interesting event that I hope goes well, so well that I want to tell you about it. And but we'll find out next week, won't we? And then, okay, so live is next week. We've got some really fun events coming up at the Tibby store, the flagship in New York, and we will keep those posted on our Instagram and on our website. I need an intern in Milan. If any Italians are watching here, please check out my Instagram post. We requested an intern, and we do have some upcoming very short-term projects that we are looking to hire an independent artist to help support our visual artist Ray. If you guys are interested, you can DM Ray or myself. And I think that's it for now. All right, guys, have a great day and look out for the Substack where I will break all this down. Okay, bye.